fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
This is where the fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
All right, everybody. It's time. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:30. And it's time for Toy Anxiety. Hello.
Oh.
Welcome to Toy Anxiety. Craig Goldberg here, as usual, with my cohorts, my co-hosts, and a special guest. But we're going to introduce everybody. Jacob Walsh, what's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited to show off the toys tonight. That's the main thing.
You're excited to show off some toys.
For
I think
once.
we're all.
Show me the toys.
Sometimes there's weeks. Sometimes the weeks are weak.
Right, exactly.
Not this week.
This is a good week. Okay, very
Good
cool. And then Ryan Dole, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic in the darkness that is my soul and my bedroom.
We were all giving Ryan a little bit of noise, I think, about his lighting.
Yeah.
But he's
Giving me
it's fine,
some feedback on lighting techniques.
Light it up a little bit.
Like put a light on.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, the chat is really on fire, excited about Ryan's shelving.
There you go. There you go.
No, but they are excited.
Yeah, and then Abigail Gardner.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's good to see everyone.
Yeah, and Abby's going to be controlling the chat.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of people freaking out.
Yeah, they're freaking out because of Ryan's shelves. There you
Yeah.
go. And we should introduce our special guest tonight. We did not advertise this. This was kind of a last-minute addition, but we're very appreciative of him being here and hope he doesn't regret it an hour from now.
Yes.
I don't think he needs an introduction, but he's my favorite X-Wing pilot, Mr. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from, like, down the street from Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm in Vancouver for the next few months. I'm shooting the Netflix live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I am here. Yeah, I'm embedded here for the next 6 months. So.
See, this is I feel bad for you and the Netflix production. It's too close to Ryan. He's going to be on set. He's going to be giving.
I've got my own movies to work on.
That's true.
Oh, it's funny. But no, congratulations. That's an amazing, amazing opportunity to be working on that show. And like I said, I don't think you need an introduction, but if anybody, wants to know what you're all about, we're going to give you plenty of time to let everybody know this evening who you are and where you came from. I guess we should start with, I think, you've come onto the scene. You're a fellow collector. You're a cosplayer. So give us the high level, 10,000 foot view of what your toy and collecting life is all about.
Oh, geez. I've always been a collector ever since I was a kid. Sort of got out of it when I was in university just because I couldn't afford it as much anymore. I was living on my own. And so I left the majority of my stash at my folks' place. And I have Asian immigrant parents. And so the moment I left, they got rid of all of my stuff, which was awesome. So I started from zero. I'm right now. I've actually I started slowly getting back into collecting things a few years ago, and it all kind of started with back in 2016. I wanted to rebuild. I wanted to build a Proton Pack, basically. In 2015, I'd made a foam core one made out of Sintra and rudimentary lights, based on plans that I got off of gbfans.com, Stefan's plans, and was really happy with it. But I wanted something a little bit more robust. A castmate of mine, Andrew Fung, he had his fiberglass Cadillac shell with lights and sound and stuff, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I built a Proton Pack with aluminum parts. The thrower was aluminum. It was heavy. It had light, sound, a venting pack, all this stuff. And then once I finished that, I was like, I kind of got that taste for getting back to these franchises and stuff. And then I discovered Black Series and started getting more into the action figures. And then just recently, I've fallen down the Hot Toys hard. Yeah, like super hard. So much so that I've had to actually cut out. I've stopped collecting Black Series because something had to give, right? And I got to kind of stick in that lane too. I keep saying that it something's got to give. So the Black Series, just because I started getting frustrated with Hasbro and the distribution practices. It wasn't fun anymore trying to get those pieces just because it was like impossible to get them, and it was a mad scramble. It's like people trying to buy supplies just before a hurricane hits, right? So it's just like, I thought, I'll go with Hot Toys, 1/6 scale, in incredible detail. Discovered Sideshow Collectibles, became a big fan of them. Started, it's more addictive than drugs, basically. I have,
100%.
Well over
Better.
20 in my collection now. My wife's like, "Where are you going to put it all, dumbass?"
So do you have a favorite hot toy that you've purchased, or one that you got recently that's kind of your standout?
Oh God, all of them. Like, honestly, I've been collecting. See, the thing is, when I started as well, like going hardcore into it, it was just like, I'm just going to collect Mandalorian related hot toys.
Okay.
But then I discovered, oh my God, I really love like Imperial stuff, like stormtroopers in their armor.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just love the armored figures ever since I was a kid. I got like 3 different versions of Darth Vader now. The Return of the Jedi ESB 40th anniversary one. Another one that was a Sideshow exclusive. I went and got, like, I have almost, it's ridiculous. Shore troopers, stormtroopers, tank troopers, everything. So it's
I'm gonna buy a hot toy before the end of this episode. I know.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
I can feel it.
I think my favorite one though is the 1-to-1 scale replica one of Grogu, the Hot Toys version, because I got the Sideshow statue, which was my first sort of foray into, like, I'm not usually into statues, but when I visited the set of Mandalorian in season 1, and I saw Baby Yoda before anybody knew about it. And just lost my mind. I was like, "What is that? What is that?" Like,
how do you live with that? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you put that in?
Honestly, I remember Dave Filoni was like, "Now, don't tell anybody." I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to ruin this for anybody." And that's what it was. I didn't want to ruin the same response that I had to it that everybody else was going to get. And I knew, I was like, "You're going to break the internet. This is going to break the internet." And it did. So I got the statue from Sideshow, which I love. And I didn't realize this, but Hot Toys had done one too. And the thing is, with Hot Toys, it was posable.
Right, it's articulated.
Yeah,
right?
and I was like, damn. And then the face, you can open and close the mouth. You can switch out the ears. So it's a little bit more expressive. And each piece has, their pros and cons. For the Hot Toys, great. It's great. You can articulate the joints. But I like the Sideshow, like the soft goods on the Sideshow are far more accurate. So it's one of those really neat things. So like I have a ton of Grogu stuff. I also collect helmets. I was a big investor in Anovos before they went under, but I'm lucky I was able to either get them through them or through third-party sellers of people who had them in their collection, didn't want them anymore. So like right now I've got my own YouTube channel called Bitter Asian Dude Inc. And I've got a segment on Sundays called Fun Boxing Sundays, where I take a geeky collectible, I unbox it, do a half-ass review, and then I just chat with everybody who's on there. And 28 episodes and strong. I've built a little mini basement, geeky basement, back home in Toronto that I miss tremendously.
Nice.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm glad
great.
you plugged your YouTube channel, and like I know you're building out a community over there. And I think what makes it so unique is like obviously now you're part of that universe. So I can't imagine how much even like more special it is for you to engage with the collectibles, knowing that it's now like part of your, the fabric of who you are as an actor. But also, I'm checking my email every day if I'm you, like wondering when my Hot Toys coming, like when's my action figure coming? Like that's the only thing I would personally care about, because I'm like I'm sick in the head like that. So
it's great because Sideshow sends you like a monthly thing to tell you that your products are still on pre-order.
Yes.
And that you're still waiting for them, and I love it.
Right. Well, Jake, you went down the Hot Toys route fairly recently, and that's not something you ever did before. And like there is something when you get that first 12-inch figure and you see those head sculpts in person. It's like
powerful.
It's another level of like action figure collecting.
Yeah, and it was for me it was that thing where I never knew exactly where I fit in with my Star Wars collecting. It's like one of those things that I love, but there's so much stuff out there that it was hard for me to decide where I wanted to go with it. But then I bought that Luke, and that Luke came in, and I was just like, well, I guess this is it. I guess I'm buying Hot Toys. So.
Yeah.
I've found my calling.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's great. I mean, I think like I find 1/12 scale, or I'm sorry, 1/6 scale collecting, that's like a whole universe in itself. And like the photography and the the dioramas and everything, it's just like I'm intimidated by it. Like I've got a couple Hot Toys, but I don't I don't call myself a hot toy collector, because I there are people out there that is their number one focus. I'm definitely still more Black Series, but hey, that could change by the end of tonight, so we'll see.
It will. We're all looking up that 1/1 scale Grogu right now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm still hanging tight. I'm gonna have my first Hot Toy. I'm gonna get it at Celebration.
Okay.
Okay,
That's the plan. I got two on
It
pre-order,
was a
which won't show
special
up till
night.
later in the year. But my first one I want to grab at Celebration at their big sideshow booth that they have.
Well, it's a big moment in one's
Yeah,
life,
you want
that
it to
first
be
one.
Yeah.
special.
I do want it to be special.
I know.
It's like your first kiss.
Absolutely.
That's way better than that.
My first hot toy was actually I bought off of a friend, and it was the Hoth Princess Leia. And
wow.
one of the reasons I got it was because, well, first of all, it was new in box, and he said, "Look, I'm not going to be able to display this, and it deserves to be displayed. So I want to sell it to somebody, who appreciate it." And I was like, "Yeah," and it was it was a great price, to be honest. And it was like, okay, I'd heard of Hot Toys, I'd seen it. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I did an unboxing on my channel, and I was like blown away by she was beautiful, like the face sculpt on her. Like, it was almost disturbing how real it looked. And it was just like, oh my God, she's absolutely gorgeous. And that's the Princess Leia that I had a crush on when I was a kid. And just like with the soft parts, you could just see the detail with the stitching on the fabric, the posability for it. It was just, it blew my mind. And that's really what got me going on it, because I love Black Series too, but sometimes the face sculpts, because of the size, they're a bit janky. And you're like, yeah, okay, I don't remember his face being like that, but
Right.
close enough, I guess. But that, for me, it was just like, I was just stunned, because I'd never seen something that looked so lifelike before, in terms of that kind of a collectible. And then they've really upped their game over the last few years, because the first wave of Hot Toys that ever came out, and we're talking like 10 years ago, they're close, right. But like in that way, like technology and just artistry and the craftsmanship has advanced so far now.
Yeah.
They're like photoreal.
Yeah.
So.
And I do agree. Hoth Leia, I'm on record. That's my favorite version of Leia.
Mhm.
Always.
Fussy. I love that.
I love
Leia.
that. I love that.
She's fussy.
Is it fussy? Is that what it is?
Just needs a
Just because
kiss.
she's fussy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I know we all have different Hot Toys that are on pre-order. I mean, Jake, what do you have on pre-order right now?
I have a R2D2 and Ahsoka on pre-order.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. The Rosario Ahsoka.
Yeah. With Grogu.
With Grogu. The only Hot Toys I have on pre-order right now are not even Star Wars. It's the Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. And I can't wait.
That's all for me, baby, too.
I guess those are Abby's more than
That's
mine.
mine.
But and then
Is that with or without nipples?
Oh, it's gotta
on the
be
Batman.
With.
Wait, I think they do have nipples.
And
I remember
Schumacher. Yeah, you gotta.
The cod piece on Chris O'Donnell on this Hot Toy is
half the toy.
It's substantial. Yeah.
Substantial. It's 1/6 scale cod piece. All right.
Nice.
Oh no. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I put my phone in front. I don't have my regular setup, so I can't see the chat and what's on the screen at the same time. So I brought it up on my phone, and then I put the phone in front of the camera. I was like,
"Oh, you're good.
Why is everything
You're
black?"
doing great.
I was wondering what happened. That's fine.
I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah. Abigail, what is going on in the chat?
The chat is everyone was agreeing that Hoth Leia is amazing. I put a few of those comments up. Let me see here. Ray Cameron said, I wonder if Paul's seen Toy Weaver's vintage style figure of his Mando character.
I have.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that.
Okay.
It's great. He's got me, and he's got a Filoni version as well.
yeah.
So he's putting us together, and I think he sculpted, or they have sculpted, forgive me, a cowboy hat for the Filoni character, which is great.
Oh, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. I've got the Trapper Wolf, the Black Series figure, and they did a great job. So hopefully we see Carson Teva down the line.
I'm waiting for that day, Hasbro. I'm waiting for that day. I might go back to Black Series if you release it. That's all I'm saying.
Celebration exclusive.
Hasbro's taking a nap right now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, we talk about
long nap.
listen. We love Hasbro and we love all the brands, and we want the Star Wars brand at Hasbro to be top of the line. We want it to be successful. Like, to me, if I'm Hasbro and I'm Lucasfilm and I have somebody like you who's involved in the Mandalorian, who's also a collector, that's like a home run. Like, why aren't you you could be an ambassador, because the thing that you have, people like us have, is like this enthusiasm for the brand and for the toys and for the collectibles, and it is infectious. I know for a fact there are people who watch our show who were not collectors, who, because of the way we talk about these things, maybe they buy their first figure, maybe they get their first Hot Toy, their first Black Series. So
make some bad decisions.
Yeah, we want people to make bad decisions, is what I'm saying.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. We all do it to each other.
We're enablers,
too.
yeah.
So
We're
I wasn't
pushers.
collecting Marvel Legends before Jake and Ryan were in my life, and now it's like insane. So well, what we normally do right now is we go through our weekly pickups, and everybody kind of shows off what we've gotten recently. I know I was talking about before we came on the air, I definitely have a lighter week after the chaos of the USS Flag last week. I've simmered down a bit, so I only have one pickup this week. But
you haven't sold it though.
No, I still have the USS
Okay.
Flag. It
All
is
right.
not on the selling block.
Everybody breathe easy.
Paul, to give you a clarification, I move and I shake. So sometimes I buy stuff and then
and we give him shit.
and 2 weeks later it's out the door. So it's fine. It's fine.
Right. Wow.
So now this is a good one. Logan figures it out. This show always makes me go toy hunting first thing Wednesday morning. I love that. Jeff Morris in the chat. Hasbro needs to make a Danny Trejo Black Series figure with Rancor accessory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Rancor.
Cardboard Rancor.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of Rancor things. I was texting Ryan, I think 2 a.m. on Saturday. I was like, this is how you fix the Rancor situation.
Yeah. Which is funny because we were having the same conversation at the bar on Friday.
Yeah.
There's a table of 5 of us nerds, and we're just all like, this is how you do it now. You redo it. Alternate heads. You have 2 different Rancor keepers. Make it happen. Yeah,
Well,
it's
now
easy.
And you drop the price point about $200.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
the big one.
sell like over 50,000 of them. Like, honestly, it's just like, would you rather have 50,000 people buying something cheaper or 0 people buying something that's super expensive and not worth it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Also, with now that you have 2 canon Rancors, you do a couple accessory switches. Everybody who wants one's buying 2. So I think there's a way. I think my official prediction, they're bringing the Rancor back in the next 2 months. They're going to relaunch that campaign.
Yeah. They'd have to, if they're going to with the Mandalorian one, they'd have to resize it though. But we were talking about that, where they could, if they re-release the original Rancor with a different sort of color scheme, they could re-release the 3.75 version of it as the baby one.
Oh,
right?
That's interesting.
As a calf.
Yeah.
Just repurpose that, just stick it in a new box.
Yeah.
There you go. New box art. Same sculpt.
Danny Trejo.
There you go.
Sell a million of them.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I know everybody's enjoying Book of Boba Fett. We've got a new episode dropping tomorrow, so that'll be something fun to look forward to. Or tonight at midnight for
Midnight
the
for
West
us.
Coaster. Yeah. Well, let's do a little roundtable pickup. Paul, you're our guest. I will let you go first.
Yeah.
What is new? And by the way, thanks for. I know you're like not even in your home. The fact that you have anything is great.
Yeah, no. And again, it's just one of the things about moving away from home is obviously you can't take everything with you, and so it was like clothes or collectibles. So I actually brought gear with me, so I have a camera, all my lights, everything like that, because I wanted to keep up with my show on the West Coast. And out here, there's a fantastic toy store called Toy Traders. Ryan knows about it. We know the owner. His name is Matthew Purdy, and it is a fantastic toy store. So I went there a couple of weeks ago, and I picked up a plethora of stuff that I'm slowly bringing it out for my channel, but I've got to go in for resupplies in a bit.
I love that.
So, yeah. So the first thing, these are from Weta Workshop. These caught my eye. These are actual artists and sculptors from the famed Weta Workshop that did work on Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and a bunch of other shows. And this is their Ghostbuster, the Mini Epics Ghostbuster line. And it's a lovely stylized kind of version of all the Ghostbusters. And I saw them and absolutely had to have them. In my mind, these are about the same size as a Funko Pop. I mean, the boxes are a little bit bigger, and that's the Venkman, and here is the Slimer. But just the sculpts and the detail are spectacular. And I've already unboxed 2 of these on my channel from last Sunday. It was from Alien. They actually had Kane, I have it right here, in fact. Here's Kane getting...
That's awesome.
Look at that
That's awesome.
sculpt, right? And then I got Ripley here, right there with Jonesy,
Yeah, with
Jonesy, yes.
right? And so, and it's like the detail, like right down to the ties on the back of her flight suit,
Mm-hmm.
right? That are, and that's what I love. And it's this sort of caricature style, but not so overdone that it's too cartoony. It's very similar to the Toonie Terrors that NECA has out. But these are way more detailed. And so I dig it. I love those. And so, yeah, I've got Winston and Ray and Egon in the back room. I'm going to be unboxing them this Sunday. And then, so these, but I love these just because, Funkos are cool. But these are just so, they don't seem as generic with Funkos because of the shape of them.
Yeah.
You have some details, but they after a while they get all blend in. And if you have 2 together, you can go, which movie is that from? Is it this character or that character?
Yeah.
If you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
These are, you take them out, it's like, well, that's Venkman from Ghostbusters. Absolutely, right? So
Yeah, I like those.
I'm
a lot.
really glad to see these.
I haven't picked up any of the Weta Workshop Ghostbusters. I love the Terror Dog one that's out. And I've never seen the Slimer in person. Jake, I think you have it, don't you?
I do, yeah, I have it. It's right here behind me. But I think that Slimer is one of the best Slimer sculpts out of all of the many Slimer figures that are out there.
Agreed.
You're a
absolutely
Slimer
agree with
critic too.
Yeah, Jake, you are a hardcore Slimer critic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
connoisseur.
I'll tell you if
Expert.
your Slimer sucks. I will tell you.
He's like a wine tester for Slimer.
Yes.
Yeah. This is an
Um,
'84 vintage.
Yeah, I think the
Slimer-
title was Slimer Consultant. I think
Slimer
early on,
consultant.
yeah.
And Slimer should never have legs. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Weta, also who we're watching Peacemaker. I did not realize the eagle,
Mhm.
and this is not a spoiler. John Cena has an eagle, is 100% computer generated. I had no idea. I thought they trained an eagle and it was flying around. And I found out today on James Gunn's Instagram that is a Weta creation.
He just
So-
grabbed one of the old assets from Lord of the Rings and then just, scaled it
Painted
down
over it?
appropriately.
Yeah. I was wondering why in some scenes he looked like Gollum. Sorry. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing to say.
Yep.
So okay. Thank you for sharing those, Paul. Appreciate that. Ryan, do you have any pickups?
These are my shelves.
These are my stuff.
I picked them up because I needed them, and I was in desperate need of somewhere to put my toys.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get these because IKEA is out everywhere on the planet. But they finally showed up. I will be putting lighting inside the shelves, so I'm hoping that within the next couple months, it just won't be this dark, abysmal potato that you see behind me.
Ryan, I talked to you on the phone like when you were mid-shelf building, and I could hear your not anxiety, that's not the right word, but just we've all been in that situation where we're building multiple IKEA things and there's boxes and paper and it's not
Cats.
fun. I felt like empathy
Yeah.
for you. So
Oh,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
I'm glad you finished it.
Yes, me too.
But
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
it.
Just the shelves.
That's
Just the
it.
shelves.
Yep,
Okay.
that was it.
Well, you'll have to do a toy room tour or a bedroom tour or wherever you are.
Oh, this is it, buddy.
This is your bedroom.
Yeah, this is it.
Can you tell the story of what happened when the you said somebody was in your house today and was impressed?
Yeah, so the guy, I work in the other room, so I'm just sitting there at work. I knew they were coming around to test the fire detectors, smoke detectors,
Okay. Yeah.
because that's just something they have to do in the building. So yeah, he comes through. I can't see him because I'm in another room. I just kind of yell like, "Yeah, dude, it's right there." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And also I hear, "Whoa!" And I was like, "Everything okay?" He's like, "Man, there's so much cool stuff in here."
Yeah. That's always the reaction.
Yeah.
That happened to me with my shelf guy when
Yeah,
he
the
came
dude
over.
who delivers shelves to
Yeah.
us.
The first time he walked in, he immediately was like, "Oh, I'm taking pictures of all of this." It's like it just happens. Like, because people, I think people who are outside of, I don't want to say normal people, but like, people who maybe don't collect toys or know about like this world, when they see it or they engage with it, it's very, I think it's kind of shocking. Like when Abby and Jake know this, we were at a toy store in Chicago, a vintage toy shop, just like last month, and they were getting a package delivered from Amazon. And the guy was kind of like half paying attention, walked in, and he looked up and he goes, "What the fuck?" Like he just like and then he spotted there was an LJN wrestling ring, 1980s WWF ring with a bunch of figures in it. And he goes, "Whoa!" And it's just like immediately takes somebody back to like literally their childhood. And like, it's the coolest thing ever. And then, but the problem is most people go, "That's great. I can appreciate it from afar." But people like us are like, "I want to buy it. I want that for my house." So yeah, it's good stuff. Okay. I can show off what I have. Jake, you have a couple, right?
I got two things. Yeah.
I just have one thing, so I'll just go. So this is in line with my USS flag from last week. I'm now adding accoutrement, and I'm adding things to display with it. So I did get a complete G.I. Joe vintage Tomahawk helicopter, and it does have the figure. Lift Ticket is his name. So Lift Ticket's in there, but it does not have the microphone because I guess that's a very easily lost part when you're a child to have a detachable.
You were clearly
microphone.
playing with that. I can tell by how the driver is sitting.
Yeah, earlier I was like, "Oh, I'm scared of helicopters, but the mission calls," and I got him in there. And it was awesome.
Like B.A. Baracus.
Yeah, exactly. This thing's awesome. I cannot remember if I had this as a kid or not, but this is a pretty iconic G.I. Joe vehicle. So
Yeah,
pick
dude,
this
if
up
you had that as a kid, you'd remember.
I know. I had like the knockoff one. I had like the one from the dollar store or whatever. So this is the I got this at Second Chance Toys here in Atlanta. And I've been eyeing some mega G.I. Joe lots. I'm learning all about rebuilding original figures, O-rings, screws. I'm learning what screws are. Things are happening in my G.I. Joe life. So that's it. That's it. Before we go to Jake, Abigail, what's going on in the chat?
Chat was saying that they want a Kim's Convenience playset.
Okay.
I saw Jakey said that, and then Kat echoed. It was
I'm
a while
showing
back.
off a tomahawk here. That's what they're talking about.
Well, I thought it was a good. Here we go. I'll show it now. There you are. He said he's all in.
Oh, there you go.
And then Kat
That's
said
the
yes.
Canadian G.I. Joe
So
playset.
fast. Well, it's 2022 is the year of the playset.
There
We
you go.
decided
There you go.
that.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
decided that. But if anybody has not seen Kim's Convenience, now would be a really nice time to just say it is available. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's binge worthy.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
you'll laugh and cry.
I saw Abby laughing and crying today. So there you go.
I was like, he just got home. It was great.
Yeah. So anyways,
Great show.
will you
Thank you.
what did Kat say?
Oh, sorry. Where?
There's a
Take it back. Sorry.
No, there's a comment on the screen.
She said I'd buy that so
Oh,
fast,
I
and
bet
I
it's
can probably take it off.
There you go.
So fast.
There you go. But yes, Kim's Convenience is great, and I'm sure most of the people here have already watched it all the way through multiple times because that's what we do.
Mhm.
We have to put one of those like things in for Lego ideas.
Oh, I'm sure.
Uh,
Has nobody
get
done
it-
that yet?
I
Somebody,
don't
somebody,
think so.
somebody by the name of Fraser Valley Bricks, I think in the West Coast in Vancouver, actually
Oh, yeah, I know who
did
that
a
is.
full, did a full mock-up of the store with Lego, and it's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Tight.
So
That's so
yeah,
very
somebody's
cool.
done it. It's just
So-
hasn't been entered into one of those fan, the maker ones.
Right.
Right.
Well, I feel like I feel like it's the kind of show that it kind of flew under the radar, but once it, in America, because it's kind of like Schitt's Creek. Like once that show hit the streaming platforms here, all of a sudden everybody discovered it and went, "Oh, what is this? This is
Right.
incredible! This is amazing!" So it's really cool to have the the streaming platforms.
But that's how all our
have-
shows are up here. From
Mhm.
Degrassi to The Littlest Hobo, they're all on that level.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Littlest Hobo.
I was gonna say, can we please explain the Littlest Hobo?
yeah,
Someone-
what is
It's
that?
someone's
about a
got to.
dog. It's about a dog who travels across Canada and saves people.
Oh,
Oh.
that sounds great.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't
Like,
have a
that's-
home, so he's the littlest hobo.
Okay.
All right, there you go. See,
Cool.
it's a good time to be alive.
Something
I'm
else
sure
to
there's
binge.
like hundreds of Canadian shows we missed out of in the 60s,
Danger
70s,
Bay.
and 80s.
Danger Bay is another
Mhm.
one. That's a very.
Okay.
Never heard of Danger
Emmett
Bay.
Otter. That all came out.
That
Danger
sounds
Bay is
like-
probably one of the coolest openings to a TV show you'll ever see.
Danger Bay sounds like a Universal Studios theme park. Like
Like a
their
stunt
water
show.
park would be, yeah.
yeah,
Live
They
Water
should
park.
have
The
it.
water
Take
park,
place at the
Danger
Vancouver
Bay.
Aquarium, and the vets are just saving otters. It would be great.
Oh
I
yes.
like that.
Oh yeah, and then Abby
That's
brought
what it's
up.
about.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
I had no idea what Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas was until this year, and now it's my favorite thing ever. I'm only 35 years late, so what can you do? All right, Jacob, what do we
Hey,
got?
speaking of Legos,
I got Legos.
giant bag of like the off-brand bootleg Legos. This came from Hal Clay as an
Okay.
early birthday present. Printed out instructions. It is the orca from Jaws.
Nice.
Oh, very
That's
cool.
cool.
So this will sit in a bag for probably a year or two, and then at some point I'll put it together.
Okay.
This is fun. I really appreciate this. Thank you, Hal.
That's awesome.
You would
I
think
think I
Hal
knew-
would know to build it first and then
It's
give
such
it
a
to
Hal thing to do. Yeah.
He sent me a message before he bought it. And he was like, "Hey, do you like Legos?" And I was like, "I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess." And I'm like, "He's like, do you like putting them together?" And I'm like, "I've never put a Lego together ever, except for the 2016 Ecto one." And he was just like, "All right," and then he just didn't say anything else. And then a week later, he gave me this.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's interesting. Well,
Hal's a neat person.
he asked me to. He was like, "Hey, I'm getting Jake the Lego Orca from Jaws," and in my head, I was like, "Is that a thing?
It doesn't exist.
It exists?"
It's like bootleg instructions.
That's cool though.
Yeah,
cool
he had
though.
to print. He had to print out the instructions at work.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
fantastic.
Jake, what else, man?
I got one more thing here. This is my USS flag, I guess. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get this box.
Oh,
Here.
look at
Nice.
I got this guy.
Oh,
This is just the box here. So this is it is Godzilla, the '98 Biollante version. It is a remote controlled figure. It has like a metal skeleton underneath. You have to I was looking at the instructions, and it actually tells you to sew the rubber suit over the robot. This one was thankfully already done.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have done it.
Up here.
yeah. Hal would have
Yeah,
had to do the
Wow.
visual.
Look how big that guy
This
is.
guy is huge. Yes.
Now, when he's
Everything moves. Mouth moves. He roars. He has a very large remote control here. Walks.
Look how
Oh
that's a-
wow.
That's a cell phone.
It is
That
looks like the-
amazing.
that looks
Yeah.
like the remote control for the lawnmower in Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
I love that
So
for
big.
roar. It says bark, forward, turn left, turn right, wave head, bark.
I love it.
Probably was all. Dude, you could start using it for your Ghostbusters stuff.
Dude, I'm gonna
Come
have
in,
him,
That thing
Ray.
on a dinner date.
he's gonna fight I'm gonna have him fight my Sentinel.
That'll be good. That'll be a good picture
Yeah,
at least.
I like that. Or get them both high chairs and take them out to a restaurant.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
for
get him a
sure.
shirt, a little outfit or something.
Little
Jake,
bit.
when
Carry him around.
when he's doing his remote control, does it roll or does he walk?
So he walks, but he has wheels, to drag his tail. But he
Okay.
actually walks. I don't have the instructions are in a language that I don't speak.
Okay.
I went out and I bought a battery for the remote, and I bought it takes a 9-volt, so I bought an extra 9-volt, thinking that maybe he took that as well. But then when I got him opened up, he takes 2 9-volts and 4 D batteries. So I don't have any batteries in him yet.
That is so many batteries. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, but he's got like the spines are velcroed on, and you can like undo that, and you can see the like robotics inside of it.
That's so tight.
And you've been eyeing that for a while, right?
Yeah, so a friend of mine got this from like some of his friends do that thing where they buy storage units.
Okay.
This was just in somebody's storage unit. It is complete, like it's all here, and they knew he liked Godzilla. He's not like a collector, but he likes Godzilla. So it's been sitting in his house out of place, and I've been to his house a few times, and I always just like stare at it in annoyance that it's not mine. And I was having a conversation with him. I was like, "Hey man, if you ever want to get rid of that thing, I'll take it." And then the next day, it was in my possession.
Nice.
I love that. Sometimes it works
That's
out
awesome.
that way.
Mhm.
It's pretty serendipitous because those are pretty expensive, right?
They are.
It's huge, I imagine.
They are. They're
heavy?
rare. This company made a few different of the Godzilla suits, but they're hard to find. I tried to look it up, on eBay. There's none in the sold listings.
Oh, okay.
A few that are like up for sale are way more money than I would ever spend on it. But yeah,
Well, you pretty much bought a Disney animatronic.
Yeah, I'm trading him. I'm trading him in work, so like no money is actually coming out of my pocket, so it's gonna be it's good for both of us.
Nice.
How much are the ones on eBay?
Parenting.
Are they like $1,000 or more?
There's one on eBay right now. I think it's a buy it now. It's $1,500.
Wow, that's a
All
big
right.
boy. Great purchase.
Mm-hmm. Ray Cameron asked first before this was, "Are you going to get a stroller?" And then Blue Chainsaw Man gets a support animal vest.
Yeah, you can take it on the plane. That'll be great.
Yes.
I'll get him a little
100%.
like a cat carrier. Bring him on the plane with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So,
And there's
anyways,
that. And that was that.
that's a great pickup.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Paul, are you a Godzilla or a kaiju fan? Is that
Yeah,
does that
absolutely.
scratch an itch for you?
Wow.
That's just created an itch for me. Actually, now it's like, oh, you got a Mothra, lovely.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have anything to show off, but I did show this off and talk about it on Monster Island with Jake and Jakey.
It's one of our spinoffs.
Yeah, it's one of the
Wow.
spin-offs. Jake, you can talk about it, but I was just plugging it. It was a
You
lot of fun.
said everything. Thank you. Abby was
Yeah.
on Monster
It's on our
Island. It was
YouTube channel.
one of my favorite episodes. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
good.
That's it.
new to
Yeah.
kaiju. It's very cool. Check it out.
Yes,
Very
I'm
cool.
very intimidated by the world of kaiju, but Abby's always watching Godzilla movies, and it's piquing my interest more than it
Mhm.
has in the past. So it's very, very cool.
You got some
stuff.
Safubi.
I do have some Safubi for the
Mhm.
first time. We went to, but it's just like it's kind of like the Hot Toys world. It's a whole other world of collectibles, and you really, my biggest thing is I like to be as educated as possible about the toys and action figures that I'm buying, or at least surround myself with people who know. That's why I'm always texting Jake and Ryan and being like, "Hey, I'm about to buy this thing. Is this a good deal? Like, am I like?" Luckily, I had educated myself on the USS Flag. I knew I was getting a fair price on it. But I mean, when I first started collecting, I was overpaying for stuff all the time because if you don't know, it's easy to kind of like make a mistake or get taken advantage.
Yeah,
of.
so make
That's what
friends.
they're hoping
with
for.
experts.
They're hoping, yeah, that's what they want, the people. So let's talk about Ghostbusters a little bit, if we can. I know we're all huge fans, and Paul, you mentioned earlier you built the Proton Pack. GB Fans was where you found your resources for that.
Yep.
Are you? And obviously, you showed off your Weta stuff. Are you actively purchasing, Ghostbusters action figures? Are you buying vintage stuff? What kind of, what is your collecting hole right now for?
Yeah. Well, to put it in perspective, I backed the HasLab Proton Pack, so I got 2 of them that I've ordered, and that's because I got 2 of the Spengler ones in my possession. One I bought through Hasbro Pulse. The other one I completely forgot I got one through Hasbro Pulse, and a buddy of mine was at Toys R Us up here, and it's like, do you want one? It's like, yes, absolutely. So now I have 2 of those, which is great. I have all the Plasma series figures. The Target exclusive Ecto 1 from Afterlife. I've got the gigantic Lego version of the Afterlife Ecto 1 and the smaller, older version. It's just like my grails are. I'm looking for the Maddie trap. I've got the Maddie PKE meter, and I've got the Maddie goggles, Ecto goggles, but I want the trap. Now I've got my own replica version of the trap. It's made out of resin. It lights up. It's got the screen accurate pedal. I've actually got the ITT relay that is screen accurate. That's hard to get, and it's on the pedal and stuff like that. But I'd love to get something a little bit lighter. Now I do have the Spirit, all the Spirit stuff I've got pulled up because you can mod it. It's light. Just needs good repainting and cleaning up to make them look a little bit more legit. And they're super light, which is what I love. And I'm secretly kind of holding out for Hasbro to release another 3-pack for a HasLab thing, like the PKE, the goggles, and a trap. Because I think if they did that trifecta, then it would complete what they have going on with the pack and stuff. But it's just like I'm all in on all that stuff. Now with the vintage real Ghostbusters stuff, I never really liked that when I was a kid. So it's for me, it doesn't really do very much for me. Just because I think they're just a little bit too cartoony, which is weird for me to say. But I do. It's like I just love the hyper accurate stuff.
Sure.
That's
I mean, if you don't have the nostalgic connection to it, that makes perfect sense. I completely agree with you. I think Hasbro, if they are to put out a PKE meter and a trap, those would be like home runs. Considering how well the wand and the pack did and everything. You mentioned the Mattel trap. I never had it until last year. I finally got my hands on it.
Right.
And it really is a great replica toy. It really is cool. But what's happened is, and I think most of our watchers are probably pretty familiar with this, it's very valuable now. It's gone. It's kind of skyrocketed in price. I think it was under $200 when it first came out, but that's already 10 years ago, maybe. So, Ryan, did you ever have the Maddie trap, or do you have it?
Absolutely. I got it when that first came out.
Yeah. And there is something about
the PKE meter, like right off the bat.
Well, the PK meter is one of the best. Like if we were making a list of like the top 5 Ghostbusters toys of all time, I think the Maddie PKE would make the list. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing, sorry, just interrupt.
Go for it.
So with that Maddie PKE, like I know I overpaid for it completely. Like back in 2016, I found an eBay listing for it in Canada. I was like, oh, this is something I want, and I totally overpaid for it. But I didn't care. But the thing is, for me, is it's not screen accurate sounds. And there's a guy named David On in Germany, and he's got a modification kit where you can just all you need to do is like open it up and solder it and replace the speaker and whatnot. You can get it. He doesn't make those anymore, or he's not making them anymore. So like for me, that's a search too, is just trying to find a way. But I can't get my head around Arduino programming. It's not like I'm more of a plug and play. Just give me the stuff to solder together, which is fine. Don't make me program.
Oh,
make me program.
I'm even worse than that. When I built my first pack, I used the GB Fans light and sound kit, which was no soldering, fully plug and play. I was like, look at me. I build things now. Like, I just plug these things together.
Yep.
Like, the fact that I was even able to wire a speaker and have sounds come out of it, I was like, I'm Mr. Wizard now. Look at me. I mean, I think with Afterlife, too, there's a really cool opportunity to do that PKE taser. I think that would be really, really cool. Yeah. You mentioned Dave. I think we met Dave at FanFest.
Yeah,
a couple years
that
ago.
dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He does really great stuff.
The Ghostbusters community is really cool. Not today, they're not, because we're about to talk about. it.
Yeah,
but
they
normally,
were cool today.
normally they're pretty cool. So we talked about the and by the way, if somebody has a Maddie trap, slide into Paul's DMs.
Yeah, there's a couple saying.
The people.
Bo Beard might have one.
Bo Beard might have one.
But that's being spoken for by Brock, so we'll have to talk to Bo.
Well, he's Bo's spokesperson.
Okay.
So let me bring this into the conversation. So we all know that the Spengler Proton Pack was fully funded. It's coming 2023. They are re-releasing and putting more Spengler wands into production, but it was announced today they will be slightly different. Where's there? There we go. Okay, so it was announced today that the tip of the Spengler wand and the new ones that are coming, if you have a pre-orders from Hasbro Pulse or Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, etc., the tip that was originally silver is now being painted orange. This is a safety, legally mandated thing. Anybody who's ever had a toy gun or been to a convention knows that the tips of guns are typically orange to signify that it's not a real weapon. I saw this today, and my first reaction was, you could have told me it was already orange, and I don't think I would have believed you, because like it just never even dawned on me. Like, it's a toy. It's a cool replica, but it is a toy.
But the tip.
What?
I'm just making fun of the people freaking out. But the tip.
But the tip. It turned into a thing today. There were people who were not happy about this.
People are canceling.
What are they canceling? Their Spengler Proton Packs? Because
I've seen people say that they're canceling. Yeah,
they didn't order one.
I think people just want to be mad. They want to be. It's like it's outrage culture. It's like, what? Yep. How dare they? It's like, it's an easy fix. Yeah. When you get it home, you don't even have to use paint. You can just get a silver tip Sharpie.
Yeah.
And you could do that. It's not a big deal. And unless you make it a big deal, if you want to get on your soapbox and that's the hill you want to die on, by all means. But there's so many better things to complain about in life than the tip of a toy neutrino wand. Like, like the same people, it's like, that's not a real proton pack, right? Like, that. It's not an actual nuclear accelerator. It looks like one, but are you going to be mad that it doesn't come with an Alice pack frame? No, you make that adjustment if you want to, and it'll have those anchor points. But it's like, what are you getting so mad over?
Well,
right?
Like,
if they shrunk it in size, if they made it look completely different, then that's a bait and switch. But if you put an orange tip on it, just to be, to comply with federal regulations or whatever, you kind of you do what everybody else does. It's like, yeah, cool. And you fix it yourself, right? Like, it's not, I don't know. I find as a society, it's like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yep.
This is why. So.
Well, and I was watching, those are all really great points, and I agree with all of them.
Like, well, the tip sent me over the edge. It's a ridiculous
I
think a lot of people are just blowing hot air. I don't think anyone's canceling their order.
No. I wish they would have gone a little further and made the orange hat light silver. When I was watching Geek Dad Life, our friend Jay was streaming earlier, and he was talking about this. And the comment I made, I was like, hey, I could point 10 other things about the Proton Pack that are inaccurate, that are already there. Like, it's a replica. It is a toy replica. Everybody needs to chill. But if you remember when Matty Collector put out the wand for the first time, and the wire on the back was going to be red instead of green? This is not the first time, or maybe it was the other way around. This is not the first time that the Ghostbusters fandom collectively has been up in arms about the color,
a swatch of color
of a tiny piece of a toy.
That's. I mean, Ghostbusters. That's. They don't have the lock on outrage. I mean, do you remember the knee pad gate for Mandalorian season 1? The Scout Troopers had their knee pads on upside down, and they lost their shit. And it was like, wow, you got pulled out of the episode. You couldn't enjoy it anymore because you noticed the knee pads were upside down, and that was it. They were a bunch of idiots, and there's no way you could trust them in terms of storytelling because the knee pads were wrong.
You know what?
And it was just like, wow.
Jake has said this a lot, and I'm going to steal his line. Or actually, Jake, you know where I'm going, so go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, once something like that, and when a mistake happens like that in something like Star Wars or Ghostbusters or whatever, it's not wrong. It's canon now.
It's canon now.
Yeah, exactly. A stormtrooper could just haphazardly put it on, and it might be
those
upside
two
down.
would have.
Yeah.
If anybody put on upside down knee pads, it was.
Well, you gotta remember the Empire's gone, right? The Emperor's not there to like do quality checks, so they're just like,
Why not?
Give a
man,
shit.
whatever, man.
He's too busy making Snokes in the
it's
jar
like
to worry about.
They're more
knee
comfortable
pads.
upside down. They don't know
Yeah.
that, but they're more comfortable when you wear them.
Might look
upside down.
cooler.
It might not be regulation, but it feels better on your legs.
Yeah.
But that happened in Afterlife. The first scene, when Phoebe puts on the proton pack and the straps are flipped. And listen, if you've never put on a proton
Yeah.
pack, or if you just found a proton pack like yesterday and had no idea what it was, there's a 90% chance you're going to put it on wrong or upside down or flip straps. Like something's going to happen.
But you guys have interviewed Ben Eady before, right? Like he's been on this channel. Yeah. So Ben, I mean, this is the reality of working on a film set. My pack is 45 pounds, right? It's old. It's got fiberglass, aluminum on it. It's like big and heavy. You're putting it on yourself. The straps just twist around.
Yep.
Right. And that's just like you're doing it and you're trying to, you don't know. It's just like you just want to get it on your friggin' back. And Ben was telling me that when that happened, they'd already established that they were twisted. So they had to keep it twisted because you didn't see her or anybody correct them. So they kept them twisted backwards. So it's a continuity. It's not a continuity error, but it is a kind of like a real life thing that happens in movies. One of the things I hate about being an actor is like when you go in and, they come in and they make sure everybody looks clean. And it's like real life, you get wrinkles, stuff pulls. It doesn't look great, but that's kind of the authenticity of it. Yeah. You watch a movie where, they've gone through hell, there's fire, brimstone, and everybody's makeup is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like they've got the artistic, the beautiful smudges that are just perfectly placed. And you kind of go, come on, that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. So when stuff like that happens, people who want to scream authenticity are suddenly like, that's not screen accurate. And you're absolutely right, Jacob. It's canon now.
It's canon now.
It's canon now. So,
well, when at DragonCon last year, I had never done a superhero costume, and I did Captain America from Infinity War because I was literally like, you know what? It'll be comfortable. It's Captain America, and he always looks great. 10 minutes later, my boots are falling off, my belt, my suspenders are broken. I was just like, no, this sucks.
Trying to keep your mask straight.
A superhero costume is the most illogical thing for superhero fighting, but that's why
even when we wear our Ghostbusters costumes at the DragonCon parade, like there's a lot of like, well, is this in the right place? And then things just kind of get jostled as you're walking it.
Try to put a slime blower on.
Yeah, exactly. Accept the change of real life.
Yes.
It's not always perfect.
I love that. This is good. I think we solved the Ghostbusters fandom today with this conversation.
Yeah. I think they'll calm down
Hope
now.
you're listening.
Paul,
orange tips are canon.
While we have you for these next couple of minutes,
tips.
What as a fan of Ghostbusters, who I'm sure you were looking forward to Afterlife as much as anybody, what was it like for you to finally check it out? Was it a sigh of relief? Was it nerve-wracking?
Yeah. I saw it late because I was on the road, and one of the big things was I had to see it with my family. So we waited till I got back home. It was weeks after the release. I'd been ducking and dodging spoilers like crazy. I got zapped by Hasbro of all places, just because of the 2-pack release of Phoebe and and I saw it. I was like, fuck. So you kind of just you can put it two and two together because it is called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Right.
And we all know that, Harold's gone, but they're not going to, you can't have Ghostbusters without him. But it, for me, was, I cried.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. It hit all those emotional spots for me. Didn't feel like it was too much fan service. I think it didn't focus too much on the original crew either. They were just there in the background. It just felt like the perfect way to continue a franchise series. Yeah. The tone was right. The emotionality was right. It felt authentic to me. Those kids were imminently watchable. McKenna Grace, look out. Like, she's got a career ahead of her because if she was like a little kid pulling off that sort of emotional range, good Lord, fantastic. Yeah. And from everything that I've heard, she's a true professional on set and an absolute delight to work with. So yeah, absolutely. Logan Kim as podcast, I thought was a scream. Everybody was great. Paul Rudd, good Lord, that man can be in anything.
He's the best.
Right? Yeah. And so for me, it was just, it felt right. It felt right. And I know there are people who just want to be fucking blah, blah, and they want to complain. Like it's the outrage culture, and they kind of go, for what it was for me as a diehard Ghostbuster fan who saw it when I was 12 years old in the theaters, 1984, and it rocked my world, and it stuck with me for so long that when I hit my midlife crisis, I didn't want a car or a motorcycle. I wanted a Proton Pack.
I love that.
It says a lot.
I'm like getting amped up.
I
like,
know.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was for me. And I'm unashamedly weeping throughout that whole thing because it was a really, really lovely. It was a love letter, I think, to the fans without being overly, what's the word? When you're trying to do too much, right? Like you're trying to just desperately gain.
Yeah, heavy-handed.
Yeah, it's just the right levels, like the right notes.
Completely agree. Delicate.
So,
You know, it's interesting to me, and we'll get off the afterlife thing, but like, it did some of the same stuff. Oh God, what am I doing? I'm just gonna do it.
Do this.
I'm about to do it.
Oh boy.
It did some of the same stuff with the characters that The Last Jedi did, where it kind of subverted some people's expectations of what a character is or what their motivations would be, who they would be down the road. I'm talking about Luke Skywalker, by the way, but also compared to like where Rey is in Afterlife and where Egon is, and it's jarring at first, but by the end of the movie, there's this resolution and there's this reunion, and it in a little 2-hour movie, it just did all the things that like the fans I think really wanted. And yeah, there is some people who don't like it, but like the overwhelming majority of the fandom said, yes, you did it. That kicked ass. And that never happens. Mm-hmm. I think honestly, no joking, The Mandalorian is the last thing, is like the only Star Wars property since like Empire Strikes Back, basically, where collectively everybody went, yes. Because even Return of the Jedi had its detractors in its time. I think over time people learned to love it, as they should, because it's the best Star Wars movie. But for fandom to, I'm just like dropping in my own little opinion.
That's cool. Yeah. It's like, that's an interesting. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
These are Craig facts.
But what? And I'm not even making I'm making a statement. I'm asking a question. But for a fandom to collectively be like, yeah, that worked, that was awesome, that's a rare occurrence in modern fandom. So
I know.
Yeah, well
but you're right. And what I liked also about like with Afterlife and what I think like Cobra Kai does and what the Mandalorian does is that they don't try to build off the foundation that's already laid out. Like, so even when you're following characters that aren't from the main shows that we remember, the foundation's still there, so everything is recognizable.
Yeah. 100%. I couldn't agree more.
Well, and the lovely thing about those shows are they're creating a new fan base as well. It's not just appeasing the OG fans, and they're not gatekeeping it. They're really actively making these shows more relevant and attracting a newer, younger fan base, which is what these shows need to do. Look, if you hated The Last Jedi so much that you're like, I'm done with Star Wars, or this, like it was, and literally just because it changes the perception of these characters. Go watch the original trilogy. It's still there. No one's going to take them away. It's not like they're gone. It's just Last Jedi all the time. It's none of that. So just go and watch that and enjoy it. But these rampaging sort of hate-ons where people just like feel so offended and shocked and outraged. That's the other, outrage culture. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That sense of entitlement where literally their argument boils down to, it wasn't the way I would have done it. Or it wasn't the way I would have liked to have seen it. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? And that's the thing. I personally, and I'll fight people on this, I like The Last Jedi, and I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I liked it because it took these characters someplace else. It wasn't a retread of every single movie we'd seen before. If I wanted the original trilogy, I would have watched it again because it's still there. But let's bring in new fans, because really, let's stop with the gatekeeping and saying, well, this is the way it should have been the entire time. It's just, it really is being open. The 2016 Ghostbusters answered the call. I enjoyed it. I knew it was outside of the world, that was originally established in the first two movies, but I didn't care. It was another Ghostbusters movie, and it was different. So it was like the misogyny, the hatred that just sort of came rolling out in waves was just embarrassing.
Yeah, we started the
Dude.
podcast to fight that.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's like, it's a movie. You're really, people actually dying because of social injustice, and you're mad because of a movie?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, come on.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
on.
they'll get mad over an orange tip. So movies are like,
Yeah.
you know, like movies are
Yes.
basically reality.
Yeah, you can't. No one's coming by to like knock on your door and take your original trilogy away from you.
But
Like,
my
That's
thing
it.
is, like,
cancel.
I think that we've gotten way far away from toys, but that's okay. We're about to get to sad comments and wrap this all up. By the way, Paul, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a ton of fun.
Yeah, man.
The conversations.
You got a marriage proposal from Ricky.
Oh, marry me, Paul. There you go. There you go. That's a first for the channel.
Yes.
And by the way,
I think they're serious.
there's a lot of people watching, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you tune in every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. for Toy Anxiety. And what helps us the most is if you're watching this, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. That helps us kind of spread the word. And we have tons of content on Yes Have Some, but most of you know about that, so I won't go much further on that. The last point I was going to say is that what I value in fandom and watching these movies is intelligent discourse. Not everything's for everybody. Have your opinions, state your opinions, defend your opinions, and have fun with it. Not everything needs to be, a clickbait. I can't believe, the other part of YouTube, the toxic part of YouTube culture. It's just not fun for me. I'd rather, if you don't like a movie, great. If I liked it, great. Let's talk about it. Let's have our words and then move on.
I find when everyone gets mad about something, Kathleen Kennedy's always fired the next day.
Always. Of course, right. According to YouTube.
Just wait till they get her.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Vespa gang gets Kathleen Kennedy fired.
the Vespa. Yes. There's been 40% too much back to tank. I used to love back to tanks before this year.
Dude, Back to Tank gave us a fight scene where Boba Fett's in his underwear.
I know.
we loved
Slippery Boba.
Come on.
Slippery
Come
Boba.
on.
Love it.
I can't wait for that hot toy.
Slippery Boba.
Slippery Boba.
That's gonna be the hottest cosplay for Celebration.
Oh,
Set Johnny's. You're gonna be all. He's gonna be all greased up, running through. It's like security can't stop me. I'm Boba Fett.
It'll be
Right?
the Willow Run.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll be like a parade of like Boba Fett's in their underwear.
Yeah.
oiled up Boba Fett's like slipping down the hallway,
Yes. Yes.
knocking over Jawas.
Boba Fett.
We talk about Boba bowling. Were you knocking down Jawas? With a slippery Boba? That'd be amazing. That would be so cool. Well, what we're going to do now, we have our final segment of the evening. It is called Sad Comments, and if you've never watched the show before, what we do is Jake, Ryan, myself, whoever for the week, scours the internet for the latest commentary, for the latest rational commentary on toys and action figures, and we read it here. Not to judge, but just to
give a platform.
Just to give a platform to the people. Now, Ryan, who found some sad comments this week?
Oh, I dropped the ball this week.
No,
I
that's
got
fine.
a few.
You got a couple? And are
Yeah.
these about what topics are we covering this week?
All over. I got some NECA stuff. I got a Super 7 Andre the Giant one that's pretty good.
I heard.
all
I heard.
over.
Okay.
Cool. Take it.
All right, and we'll do a couple of these and then we'll wrap up. All right, so let me get the music going. Real quick, while I get this music loaded up, Paul, could you go ahead and let us know about your YouTube channel again and let the people know where to find you?
Yeah, sure. Again, my YouTube channel is called Bitter Asian Dude Inc. I do unboxings. I just dropped my first mukbang video, which is just as awkward as it sounds. It's literally just me eating ramen in front of a camera. So my members, they really, really wanted that. And I was like, okay, I've seen them before. They're weird, but it really got me sort of curious as to the subculture behind that.
Oh, interesting.
And why they came about. Apparently, it started with in Korea, of course, but people who are living alone wanted to watch them because they just wanted to hear the sounds and had the visual of somebody eating with them. So that was one of the things. So I thought that was like a really, really interesting. And of course, they've blown up to be all these different subsects of what it was originally made, which is great. But that's Bitter Asian Dude Inc. on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Angry Uppa. And there's another channel. We do a Book of Boba Fett recap on my buddy's channel, Toying Around. I'm one of the panelists on there, along with Yoko McCann and one of the Toy Migos. His name is Ernie. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Friday nights at 9 Eastern.
Okay.
So
well, making sure we're not competing, because we do ours at Friday nights at 10 Eastern. 10:30. It's the Boba Book Club, or 10:30.
Oh.
So hey, once you by the way, Yoko from Super 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She used to be at Funko, and she's does the marketing at Super 7. She's great. So yeah, go watch their recap and then hop on over to ours. It's great. Tons of Boba Fett content for Slippery Boba. Great.
Back to back Boba.
Back to back Boba. Yeah,
Just oil yourself up, slide into one show, and then slip on into the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and also Paul, the signed trading card that you slipped over to Ryan was very exciting for me, because I'm a card guy. I've been ripping boxes of Star Wars cards on one of our playlists, YHS Cardio. Been ripping cards. So
hold on a second. So I've got with me, Topps actually was kind enough to send me a number of these cards.
Oh, sweet.
That are blank. You know what? I'm going to sign one for you and for Jacob and Abby.
Oh, thank you so much.
We'll send them your way. And maybe if you're lucky enough, I'll write a nice postscript on the back of it, like I did with Ryan. Ryan, have you told him that story?
No. Hang on. I think I might be able to reach and grab mine.
Well, so yeah. Well, I'm excited too, because there's some really nice new Star Wars products coming out, and I'm assuming you've signed for them, or hopefully you have. And I want that's so generous of you, and I really appreciate that. But I also hope to get one out of one of the boxes too, because it's just cool. It's just a fun. I also did not realize, speaking of subcultures, I have a feeling I never understood ASMR videos, but I think the reason why people like the pack opening and why I like it is the sound of the packs opening.
You didn't even know it, and you're making.
I didn't even know it. I didn't have no idea. Paul, that's thank you so much. That's very cool of you.
Okay, so this is my card.
Oh,
so on Friday, he gave a card to my buddy Steve. He's also on the Gen X-Wing podcast.
Okay.
We're probably going to have him on for a episode of Boba Book Club. Awesome guy. And that's how I met Paul. And I can't remember if we were talking shit about something. This is at Stormcrow. And you're writing his card out, and we didn't realize that you flipped it over. And then you wrote on his, and fuck you. On the back.
It was P.S. fuck you at the end.
P.S. fuck you.
The beginning was really, the front half was beautiful. Like my brother.
It was really,
this and that.
Really thoughtful. And we're looking at it. And we're just kind of like, oh, that's such a nice card. And he just randomly flips it over just to look at the card. And it says, P.S. fuck you. We both just pop, right? Like, oh my God, so funny. And and so then what he did mine, he wrote something really nice, and I got something there too.
I love it. I love that. It's perfect.
Now we're definitely getting monetized for that one, but
no, it's fine. You don't. As long as the F-bombs aren't like the first 2 minutes of the video, you're usually pretty good. So, okay. Well, that was great. Great stuff. Let's get to some sad comments.
Yes.
Jake.
Let's say all the F-bombs now.
Here we go. Hopefully music doesn't kill you guys.
Haven't had one of these in a while. You'll see what I mean. I'm glad these guys are back.
All right, here we go. Jacob Walsh.
I used to think of myself as a patient person, but waiting every day to see if your post will be about the life-sized Bride of Chucky dolls has made me realize that I am not.
the Chucky doll fans are back.
Boy,
I
they
love that.
returned. Haven't had a Chucky post in a while.
Oh yeah, those.
No, it's been a while.
They, we toured. We got to go to the NECA headquarters back in November or October, whenever we were up there, and we spoke for the people. We actually asked Randy and the NECA team what the deal was with the Chucky dolls. And they were like, "Stop it! We don't want to hear it. We get enough of it every day."
Yeah, because it's usually like they're commenting on unrelated posts, like for completely different.
Right.
Yeah,
things.
which that
Yeah.
was clearly an unrelated post.
And also, the answer is the same as everything. Everything is stuck in the middle of the ocean somewhere. So, which, by the way, would make a great child's play.
It
movie.
would, right?
Like
I think
all the Chuckies.
Oh my
escape
God.
The
You
freighter.
mean
and-
Toy Story?
yeah, that's got the Toy Story. All right, Jake. What's our next one here?
Okay, this is Super 7. This is on the Andre the Giant.
Okay, here we
Figure.
go. For context, Super 7 has an Andre the Giant license, has done multiple Andre the Giant figures, and just unveiled a new one. Okay. Context. There we go. Sad comments coming at you.
It's literally the worst sculpt I've ever seen. Do your artists use reference photos or just sculpt from a fever dream?
Oh my god!
Wow. Whoever buys this must have a guide dog.
Oh, that's
horrible.
Come on. Wow. That's pretty harsh.
That's
Pretty
horrible.
That is a hard.
Like it went really funny to just really like. I'm still clutching my pearls. I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Lord.
They hate that figure. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, also, I didn't think the sculpt looked that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
My
it's not that bad. I
gosh.
thought it was a pretty good looking figure.
My gosh. A lot of rational
Good job,
comments
Jake.
out there. All right. Jake, do you have another one?
I got one more. It's kind of a long one, and this is about the bring home the bounty.
Well, I'll be right back. I get sorry.
Okay. Should we wait? We
Yeah.
start.
Do you want to wait? We'll
I
just.
think we should wait. I bet he's
Yeah.
getting something fun. I imagine it could be
He's
dinner.
gonna get it. Maybe he's going to get a sad comment.
That's what I thought. I was like, he's got a sad comment in his closet.
It's probably
We're
just
back with
food.
it.
Like when you guys order food,
Yeah,
and then Abby
it's
has to go and get it,
lovely.
and she trips
Yeah.
over the entire
Yeah.
setup. And
Not this week.
not this week.
We're new to kaiju.
Last week we had to do some editing.
Yeah.
So.
Can we not?
Oh
bring
yeah!
up
Don't
that,
forget to
please?
turn off the stream.
Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Abby,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.
It was like
Can we? Yeah.
Jake and I were both like Garth when Wayne
Yeah.
left the set.
It was just fantastic. We just had such a fun time.
Hey guys.
That's funny. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
Good times.
we can probably
Actually, now's a good time to actually even talk about the Royal Rumble.
You know what? Let's Ryan talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about something. Go for it.
Okay. So quickly, hang on. Sorry, Paul. Right before we kick off that last sad comment, I just want to say, if you are in group therapy, we are going to be doing a contest for the WWE Royal Rumble, men's and women's. Sign up for it. You're going to get put into just like a lotto number, just like a wrestler. If your wrestler wins, you will win a toy package. We don't know what's going to be in that package because we're arranging that right now. But next Saturday, instead of not Sunday, but Saturday, is the Royal Rumble on the 29th, I believe.
Yep.
So
It's gonna be fun.
this
We'll be
week
in the
we'll
Discord
have.
for
I'll
sure.
get that set up in group therapy. And don't forget to sign up. If we get 60 entrants, you get one wrestler. If we only get 30, you get two wrestlers. So it's all going to depend on who signs up.
It's a free sign up. Group Therapy is our official Facebook group, so join us. It's you don't have to be part of Patreon or anything. And we're gonna have some fun. That was a lot of fun last year. The Royal Rumble is always fun, but having a dog in the race makes it even like you're really cheering these guys on. Like, so
I hope I don't get Johnny Knoxville. God.
Yeah, I know. And then also we are going to be doing the Jeffries, the second annual Jeffrey Awards are coming up, or the YHS Toy Awards. I posted it today. I'll share it here real quick. We have our official nominees. I know it's kind of small on the screen, so go to our social media, Instagram and Facebook, and you can see all the nominees. We had a ton of fun doing the Jeffries last year. Who will win Toy Line of the Year? Who will win Figure of the Year? You'll find out on Tuesday, February 8th. Very much looking forward to that. So, it's basically the Oscars for toys.
Yes.
The Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Getting
it's the most
dressed
respected
up.
toy award show
Mm-hmm.
in the world.
Well, we're part of the Toy Association, because of Toy Fair and everything, and I got their list for toy nominees, and I was like, I haven't heard of any of these. It's all like kids like under 3 play sets and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, it sounds cool, but I can't, I can't live with myself just voting for something I've never.
Those
ever
aren't
heard
the
of.
real toy awards.
So, all
I
right.
don't have a golden giraffe.
Oh, and we have to acknowledge that we have a super chat. Thank you so much. Blue Chainsaw Man, here's for toy anxiety, fuck budget jar. Also, sorry to derail, but what toys would Mr. Kim collect? What do you do? I think that's what we've been talking about the whole time. So, if you could clarify the question, Blue Chainsaw Man, we'll ask.
I
okay.
think he means just the character, not
Yeah, that's
not
what I
Paul,
thought.
but the character.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Mr. Kim. There you
yeah.
go. There you
Yeah,
go. There
the
you go.
character.
Okay, the character of on Kim's Convenience. There you go. I was confused by the question.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, Mr. Kim on Kim's Convenience. What would he collect? That is a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question, but actually, Mr. Kim, he's not spend time playing with a toy. Toy is for little kid. I am not a little kid. I'm older man. Huh? If anything, maybe I collect vintage vinyl. The record for the record player. Yeah, and I see Jacob. You have a Godzilla. Yeah, it's a cool, but. It's just still for little kid. Huh? Maybe you take it away from someone else. And the toy, Ryan, we all know you don't have a real toy behind you. Huh? It's just a photocopy of a toy in a very dark shelf behind you. Huh? Not real. It's 100% guarantee it's a fake. That's all I say. Huh? Yeah.
Wow. That's a moment. I think that's a toy anxiety moment.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
There you go.
That's going to be part of the Jeffries
Yeah.
as a clip.
And tune into Patreon and we'll find out what Carson Teva collects. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That was great. That was great. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for that.
Oh,
Anytime.
I'm flattered.
All right, let's get to that last sad comment, and then we're going to call it a night. Jacob, take us home.
Yeah, first of all, this one's a little bit longer, and it is missing some punctuation. So
Well, you
it's
always
a little
acknowledge.
confusing.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
roll
fine.
with it.
I just have to say that.
And which post is this from?
We're talking about the Bring Home the Bounty.
Oh, the Hasbro's every Tuesday or whatever they
Yeah.
their Star Wars announcements. Okay, here we go.
Oh, So this is the only thing we're getting for Bring Home the Bounty. Because if this is it, you're really shorting us fans. Why don't you guys show some more action figures of the Book of Boba Fett or something? My vintage collection figures that are coming out, just saying, people at Hasbro, or why don't you show us another version of Boba Fett without the cloth material for the vintage collection? Since you've got fans that do not like the cloth material. Just saying. Don't get me wrong. That material that you used for the 5-point articulation figures when you were doing the Rogue One capes for the main villain, that material would be awesome. Just saying. Little food for thought for those who even read these comments in Hasbro. Because the cloth material fades and tears. Or you can at least given us some more things that are coming towards the Mission Fleet figures, since you guys are aiming towards kids. Because those suckers fly right off the shelves like hotcakes, by the way. The Mission Fleet figures, that's what I'm talking about. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. Wow. I hope that guy's online handle is just saying. And how many times have that has got to be the most times cloth material was ever said in one.
That dude
I like that there was
loves cloth
constructive
goods,
criticism,
man.
though.
I like
For
that.
some reason, I kept thinking that was like J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I just
Oh, that
love
was
that
good
he
stuff.
just when you think he's done talking about the cloth, just
The
comes
cloth
right
material.
back in.
Let me go back to that cloth.
We need to officially change soft goods to cloth material. for the future,
Yeah.
for 2022.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody, this has been an incredible time. Paul, we can't thank you enough for your time and your candor and your collecting wisdom, because I think people are going to take a lot from this episode. I hope they do. They better. And you can check out Paul's YouTube channel. And good luck with filming. I know you've got big projects that you're working on. So congratulations, for all of your success. And
Thank you.
Ryan, congratulations on your shelves.
Yeah, get some better lighting.
That's next. We appreciate your feedback.
No, we're just kidding. No, it looks
We
great.
dig earlier.
No, everything looks great. For
Turned it.
context, Paul was the first one to say, "Hey, what's with the
Yeah.
light?"
Do you guys think that I need to paint each tip of a spine orange before I take this anywhere?
Just to make
Yeah.
sure it's safe.
They're
Just to
pointing.
make
Just the
sure.
tip.
Just to make sure
And his
it's
teeth.
safe. Oh
Yep,
man.
and his little teeth.
Tips
Well,
are cool.
I will say this. This has been a lot of fun. We're going to end the show now. Let me kill that.
Fun begins.
For Ryan Dole,
Fun. This is where the fun.
Abigail Gardner,
This is where the fun begins.
myself, Jacob Walsh, and Paul Sun-Hyung Lee,
Guy with the muscle.
we appreciate your time.
This was fun.
This was a ton of fun. We will see you next week for Toy Anxiety. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the things that every YouTube channel tells you to do. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Hi guys.
Bye, y'all. Good night.